Well, the most paralyzing element of perfectionism is fear of failure. And let's explore why. Welcome. Welcome to our day 5 of the 10 live sessions in perfectionism. And it's incredible how many of you are struggling with perfectionism. I mean, there are many people out there, and it has been something like a hidden enemy. And it's incredible also how much you were looking forward to an online course for perfectionists, like the one that I announced yesterday. Many of you got the course already. I'm so happy about it. Looking forward to see you in our first live coaching call, and we are going to defeat perfectionists together. And that means how much we need to find our inner peace and balance again. So, today we're talking about the worst nightmare of a perfectionist, which is fear of failure. First of all, what I would like to share with you is I think that the most important reason for being terrified of failure is because of the way we see failure, because of the perspective we have about failure. And let me tell you what I mean. As a perfectionist, you probably believe that failure leaves a permanent mark. It sticks with you. That everybody will remember how you failed. This is how we think about others. Like we will fail once, they will always remember us about this failure. They will not remember anything else about you, and they will not be able to see anything beyond that failure. All the rest, the nice stuff you have done, your achievements, your progress, your character even, will be forgotten. That's the burden of shame that a perfectionist carries with them. And I'm going to go to the other side, which is in the mind of a non-perfectionist. How is that different for a non-perfectionist? A non-perfectionist believes that a failure has a temporary effect. You fail, you stand up, you continue, and that's part of the journey. That's what we do all the time. We fail and then we continue. Moreover, another perspective on failure, you think that failure is judgment, that this means something about you, that this experience is there for only one reason, to tell you off, to judge you, to prove that you are incompetent, a loser, or not smart, or unskilled, you name it. And maybe you ask, like, okay, is there any other way to see failure? And non-perfectionist, let's go to the non-perfectionist again. A non-perfectionist views failure as feedback, constructive feedback on what didn't go well, what went well, what we need to change, what we need to adjust, what we could have done differently, what maybe we need extra support, extra resources, extra tools. It's only feedback. So you see, a perfectionist sees it as criticism and non-perfectionism as feedback. That's what we need to change. For the same reason, a perfectionist will view failure as something they're only responsible for, while a non-perfectionist will actually see that they are not only responsible for that, there are also other factors that contributed to that, and then they're not overwhelming themselves with guilt and self-blame. Also, as a perfectionist, you might think that failure means the lack of ability. Just because you're not able, you didn't manage. Again, something personal in there, right? See? So you think that people will conclude that the reason that you failed is because you just lack competence, that you're not able and you will never be. Again, the permanent element there. However, let me go to the other guy. However, in a non-perfectionist mind, the reasons can be many and not only the lack of ability. To give you some examples, the lack of effort. It's not that I'm not able, I just didn't try enough. Okay, I can accept that. Bad timing. Maybe I should have started earlier. Maybe I should have started later. Okay, it's bad timing. It's not me that I'm not able. It's just I didn't calculate the timing correctly. Or being new in a specific challenge. I didn't know. That was the first time that I was doing it. Of course, I don't have a manual in my head for every new circumstance in my life, for every new challenge. Or being inexperienced. Again, as we said, I don't have any prior experience on that. Or external, unpredictable circumstances. I had everything planned, but then something happened that I didn't predict and I couldn't have predicted. See? That happens in a non-perfectionist mind, because they see that they're not the only responsible for failure. And if you think that you're the only responsible, probably you are a perfectionist, and probably that's why you're stuck, and that's why you are afraid of failure. In my opinion, and that applies not only for fear of failure, but generally on fears, the worst thing about your perspective on failure is that you think that you will not be able to handle it. I say that again. It's probably because you think that you will not be able to handle it. That's why you avoid it, because you think that once you fail, you're going to be stuck there with your failure and you will not be able to move. You're going to freeze in there, that you will not have the capacity, the tools, the resources, or the emotional stamina to recover, to stand on your feet, to show face again. You think that you will not have all these in order to handle failure. And not only then you think that you're not good enough in order to succeed, but you also believe that you're not good enough in order to handle failure. See, this is what we call low self-trust. I don't trust myself that I will be able to face my fears, to deal with something which is challenging. And that's why I avoid all this. That's the vicious circle of perfectionism. You are afraid of failure. You avoid challenges in order to avoid failure and damaging your self-esteem. But then you end up staying for too long within your comfort zone, and you're not following your dreams, and you're not growing as a person, and that damages your self-confidence even more than you have imagined. So, do you see how this works? As we said in our first session, perfectionism is an overcompensating mechanism which we use in order to hide the shame we feel about ourselves and the low self-acceptance we have. It's an overcompensating mechanism in order to hide how ashamed we feel about ourselves. Perfectionism is an inhuman way to see life. We view life as if it's something that doesn't have pain and doesn't have failure. That's not realistic. And that's why perfectionists usually struggle with navigating life. But we are here, and we're going to change this. And we're going to change this distorted perspective and this overprotective coping mechanism. Remember, failure is temporary. Failure is feedback. Failure is not only your responsibility. Failure doesn't mean that you lack ability. Failure, you can handle it. Everybody fails. And it means that you are leaving your comfort zone and you are about to do something that is important for you and you love it. This is what it means. So, I'm telling you this paradox. Once you embrace failure, you will be more successful than before. Funny, right? So, I will see you again on Monday. Same time, same place. During the weekend, you can rewatch the 5 previous mini sessions on failure. Let it sink, all the things that we have said. And of course, grab your ticket for the online masterclass, How to Stop Perfectionism and Start Living. Because this is what we need it has all the tools in order to fight perfectionism. And get it before the 40% offer discount expires. So, take good care of yourself and let's defeat failure together.